What's up, guys? This is Acidic Roots. It's time for part 7 of Let's Play Donkey Kong Country. This is the finale, so we're gonna get out of the industrial Kremkrock Industries and head for Chimp Caverns. So we really only got a couple stages left, but it's still gonna be a 20-minute video because of the credits. So you get to find out the enemies' names and the characters' names if you didn't know them, and then who made the game. So I do show the occasional bonus, but yeah, you can bet that they are tougher when you do this in these last couple stages. So back in 1994, before the internet had really taken form, obviously it was just a lot tougher to figure out all the secrets because you didn't really have too many ways. Nintendo tried to comfort this by adding like a helpline. They had like a couple phone numbers that you could call to get some advice, but I don't know if it was toll free. So this is back in the day. Obviously, if I had been 10, 13, around that time, I probably would have used that toll-free number. Probably would have gotten a couple tips and pieces of advice, but I didn't have to worry about that. So, I'm trying to think of what games I probably would have used. Probably Legend of Zelda. That was the most bastardized. I sympathize for the people who had to beat that game back in 1988. So, so these stages are kind of shady, and that's actually not too bad. I mean, it adds an extra feel to the game. I really like the idea of just darker setting stages. But they don't really do this in Donkey Kong Country 2. And this game, with all the rest of the games that came out in '94, I mean, I was trying to. Of course, I wasn't there to sit there and remember all those games, but I did pay attention to most of the best ones, like Mortal Kombat 2 and some of those. Final Fantasy 3, those sorts of games. I really don't know. If I said this in the last video, I'm going to say it again. I really don't know what sort of games are, being encouraged for us to play this year. I mean, apparently Mountain Dew Game Fuel, the game of 2017 that they're supporting, is the Shadow of Mordor game or something like that. So we're going back to Lord of the Rings, but that's strange that we're looking to them to sit there and handle, Game of the Year. Those silver guys, you can't even kill them with Donkey Kong, so the only thing that does it is barrels. And, this is the last stage in the game. Remember, you're going to have to use some pretty good tricks and traps to do this. Really, I've been able to handle this stage except for maybe like the last segment, but it's just because it caught me off guard. I mean, really, the game tricks you into thinking that you're going to need the barrel every single part, but you don't. So. Forget what the name of this stage is. It's probably pretty important. I mean, I tried to remember some of them, like Main Brace, Mayhem, those sorts of stages, but Platform Perils, yeah. So now, obviously, you can skip the stage if you go back, or I think that's just a secret, but it gets you further. So. Yeah, I kind of like the shady feel to this game, or this world at least. In some stages there's kind of a hazy type design to it. It's pretty awesome. I really didn't own Donkey Kong Country 3, if I haven't said that yet. I kind of rented it and got basically to the secret world and then couldn't beat it. And I only had so much left of the game, but I just eventually gave up on it, and then years later I finally watched it on YouTube. But it's a question as to whether or not I could beat it now, but it is a longer game, and you do have to do those banana bird things. So that requires memory. It's not just, you know, beating the stage. So, who would have thought I'd lose a monkey to a beaver? Thing. Yeah, one little misstep there that would have screwed everything up. I got a scratch in my nose or something. I don't really remember. Brief intermission. Alright. The important thing to do is to get the midway point and shit. You know, you're gonna want that. I will say that the second half is, you know, if you know what you're doing, it should be simple enough to do. But you will need most of the barrels. The problem with it is I don't have Donkey Kong, which I kind of fucking need them. Can't get that, so they won this round. But you know, I'm kind of torn as to what I normally think of the last stage of a game. I mean, sometimes it can be a piece of work, and I mean like that, a piece of art, but other times it's the most hated stage in the game. And like, normally the last dungeon in the Zelda game, like when I played A Link to the Past back in a year and a half ago, I was just thinking, you know, I'm just gonna look up the walkthrough for how to beat Ganon's tower, because I just was like, forget it, you know, this is gonna take me several hours to do. I just used the walkthrough, but it was a fun enough world, and I took care of the bosses, but I knew that I was probably going to spend over amounts of time there. But basically every other stage, I mean, the only other one I didn't do when I was extremely younger was I just didn't do the Turtle Rock stage where you rescue Zelda. But the reason why was because I didn't have internet, or proper internet, to find out where to get those medallions, like the bomb medallion and all those golden ones that you need. But yeah, and that last little bit, you know, if you notice how I threw the barrel at the beaver, really you didn't need it. It kind of tricks you into thinking it's going to be harder, but it's kind of like, I mean, that part actually makes it simple. As long as you hit those muscle heads, you know, everything else should be fine. But yeah. So Diddy gets a boss this time, so that's the thing there. I like the dumb drum one. That one's funny. It's just such a stupid boss. You know, it's entirely pointless to sit there and just, you know, shoot out enemies for you to beat. It's kind of, looking for the right word, insolent, something like that. Imbecile-like. Yeah, we're gonna save just to make sure, because otherwise we'd have to do that boss again. So. Alright, Gangplank Galleon, which K. Rool does beat me. You know, that's the thing about it. He does beat me the first time. But he's kind of simple. I mean, he's a lunkhead. Doesn't take too long to get rid of him. But, and, you know, this stage kind of makes it look like it's farther away from the island, but I don't know how the hell they got there if it's that far away. Doesn't really make sense. It's a cool little effect, though. So I know there's no way they're swimming to that. I mean, that looks like it's more than 300, 800 feet away. Now, they gotta do like a little trick number here, but now when I was younger, I think this part tripped me up. I think I remember trying to get past this, and because it makes you nervous, you don't really know when to leave. And, you know, after the cannonballs hit the ground, it makes you wonder if they can still hurt you, you know, when they bounce the second time and then fall. I didn't really test because I didn't want to do the stage over. Here's a little fun fact. I don't think I won a single mini game that I took place in Donkey Kong Country. You know, Diddy, when he loses, he gets mad and takes it out on his hat. And Donkey Kong just kind of shakes his head in disappointment. But, you know, this is an extra thing. I do think I get to like the last little bit, which, yeah. I don't remember if it's Diddy or Donkey that beats this stage, but we'll find out. So, just running out of things to say at the moment. I mean, really, so the majority of this game is just about bananas. That's what the Kongs want the most. That's the reason why they're fighting this guy, even though it turns out that they're probably wanting more than that, but it doesn't stress it enough. And so, I like his little gold stomach. That's pretty slick. Meaning K rules, gold stomach. You didn't know. So yeah, I'm still been on my Halo obsession. I'm on the verge of getting banned from Halo, and I don't really know my feelings about that, because part of me just wants to say screw it. Just be like, well, I guess, you know, to go as far as to prove a point and say, you know, it's about the principle or that sort of thing. I mean, obviously I want to do that, but then I also have to remember that, you know, it's the effects of not being able to play the game are going to be prevalent. I know, I looked up when they started doing it. They didn't do it when the Master Chief Collection first came out. It happened just about 2 years ago, October 2015. They just added like an update and it screwed with it. But, you know, that was probably one of the worst decisions I've seen, just because, you know, too many folks take that to heart. So, but yeah, I'm kind of wondering if I should keep that, if I should initiate the ban or not, because if I do, I mean, it's gonna be funny. I've got some videos planned, but at the same time, you know, I paid for the game. I'm not gonna be able to fucking play it. So it's kind of the decision I faced with the drinking soda. You know, you have to wonder if it's gonna ruin your teeth or not, but it just tastes so damn good. You know, I hate decisions like that. You know, leave a comment if you do too. I mean, obviously this is something, but alright, so yeah, you also get a look at Donkey Kong's room. He appears to like Candy Kong, appears to like bananas, has a beach ball, some flowers, some nice curtains, and I think that's his bed underneath. And yeah. So I don't know how much I'm gonna talk during these credits. It's just like, you know, obviously I didn't have to do this for Super Mario Bros. Because it just goes back to the title screen, but this does kind of add like a congratulations effect to it, which, you know, at the time, you know, I don't think Nintendo games were doing that, but Super Nintendo started to introduce that, so we started to get the first little bit of cinematics, which, you know, that's blasphemy for like a PS4 and Xbox One game to not have a fitting ending. You know, it's definitely something. You can't just be left back at square one. Which I mean, it's not so much I'd want that, but it's funny. So you don't really get the sense of what happens to Mario after he gets the princess in Super Mario Brothers. I mean, if you're an adult, you make the assumption that he winds up with her, but at the same time, you know, Mario, we don't really know if he is a competent man. You know, that's the whole thing. So, and same thing with Luigi. You know, there are times when they feel pretty bumbling. I don't know, but you know, it's up to you to decide that. So I hardly use these animal buddies. I needed to, but most of the time they just got hit and ran off quick as fuck, and I just was like, eh. So I tried to get the rhinoceros as much as possible, but I just wasn't able to. I didn't visit Cranky Kong. I mean, he just gives you advice, and he tells you tips that you should probably know if you play this game more than a couple times, and kind of lectures you. So between those two things, which, you know, another fun fact is that is the original Donkey Kong. You know, the Donkey Kong from the arcade back in the early 80s. So they should have at least shown Donkey Kong eating a banana. I mean, he doesn't really do that. I mean, he gets them, but it's like, you know, they don't really show the content of satisfaction. It's kind of like supposing you don't really see the Ninja Turtles eat pizza that much. They always talk about it, but they're not taking time to chow down on it. So now comes the people who made the game. Which I don't really know the extensiveness of having to be a game developer back in the early 90s, how hard it was. Because I knew everyone was probably new to computers, 1993, when this game was made. You know, early days, especially with these type graphics that had never been tested before. So they probably knew it was going to be state of the art, but it was like, damn, you know, this is going to set trends. But they don't really talk about that. You know, they haven't really done like a 10-year or 20-year anniversary showing off the development cycle and all that. Rareware does kind of keeps to themselves. They haven't really spoken at all over the past 10, 12 years. It's been a long while. So, but, you know, if you look hard enough, you can actually find Miyamoto. He reflected on the 30-year anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. So he kind of, I think he even played the game. You can find that somewhere on YouTube. But I try to pay attention when they show Miyamoto doing that sort of stuff. And it's kind of like extra information that you get on Mario. But yeah, we're going to go and actually show the finale. A little extra segment if you play the game again. But first we'll go to DK's house. It's one up. Satisfaction. but the summary level will have to wait. Subscribe for more fun.